Hitler was born in 1889 in Braunau am Inn on the Austrian side of the Austria-Germany border. He grew up in a relatively poor family and dropped out of school at age 16. After he left school, Hitler became an artist in Vienna to supply money to his underprivileged family. He moved to Munich, Germany in 1913, just before World War I. Hitler enlisted in the German army in 1914 and was a member of a Bavarian infantry team. He worked as a messenger, carrying important letters to other troops nearby. Hitler was shot in 1916, but recovered quickly. When the war ended, Germany was in a terrible economic depression due to war expenses as well as the Treaty of Versailles. He joined the Deutsche Arbeiter Party, where he posted propaganda publicizing the party's ideas and opinions. The Deutsche Arbeiter Party is where Hitler is thought to have first become interested in nationalism for Germany and develop a racism against Jews and other imperfections to the German race. In 1921, he became the party's leader and began to gain supporters with an overload of propaganda. At one of his first attempts to gain power, he was arrested and sent to prison, where he wrote his most famous book, Mein Kampf, describing his master plan to bring Germany back to power. The book was there for everyone to see, but the warning did not stop him from eventually rising to power. When Hitler was released, the party went from 75 to thousands with his new leadership. He created the SA, which became the well-known Nazi army and party. The swastika was chosen as the official symbol of the Nazi party because of its meaning of spiritual victory and luck in many other cultures. The Nazis became popular among Germans, and Hitler started the process of a fascist government in hatred of Jews and many other groups, such as Slavs and homosexuals throughout Germany. The ideas spread as the Germans invaded many other countries in Europe. The Jewish Holocaust of World War II began, and the rest of the story continues on. Germany suffered their second loss in a world war. Hitler's policies may have seemed overboard, and many people wonder why he went to those extremes for no apparent reason. Many historians believe that Hitler had a reasoning behind his actions, not justifying what he did, but making it a little more understandable for the common-day person. One of the most common theories is because Germany was at such a depression after the Treaty of Versailles, he targeted the wealthiest race in Germany. At the time of Hitler's rise to power, the Jews were the rich bankers and accountants. So he felt that if he targeted the rich minority, the majority, which was poor at the time, would favor Hitler and put him into power. Once he targeted the Jews, the poor population was excited that those cheaters would finally be taken care of by the Nazi party. The Germans were not all excited about the destruction of all Jews, but the rich deserved to pay up their long-owned dues of belongings and in most cases their life. It was unfair to the average German to be above the average level, especially when the high population of Germans were either homeless or starving. After the Holocaust began, the Germans began to feel like they had more power, even though they had just lost all of it. In this theory, Hitler did not frame the Jews because they were Jewish, but rather because they were the wealthiest overall race at the time. This theory is part of a story that explains how he wound up in the situation that he did when he lived in a relatively normal yet poor family. As a teenager, Hitler became an artist in Vienna. He was a very talented painter, and he was on the fast track to a very prestigious art degree at one of Austria's most selective colleges. As Hitler grew older, he applied to an art school that he knew would make him successful. He sent in his best work and hoped for the best. Months later, Hitler received a rejection letter to the one school that he had a chance of being successful in. Historians believe this rejection letter was the reason he became so unpractical with his ideas about an ideal race and how to solve all of Germany's problems. A common incident that many people believe triggered Hitler's hatred of Jews is when he was 18, his mother became very ill with breast cancer. Her condition worsened, so they put her on an experimental iodine treatment to try and save her life. After the harsh treatment, she died, and Hitler was devastated and blamed the whole death on Dr. Bloch, who happened to be a Jew. Most people blame his frustration with Bloch for his hatred of Jews. No one truly knows why Hitler was the crazy evil man he is known to be, but these theories are some of the main ideas people believe that explain his hatred of Jews and why he gained power. Regardless of his reasons, his actions were heinous and should never be repeated. The mind behind the monster is more complex than what meets the eye.